Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Here we are to watch
Folks.
some Deep Space Nine.
Woohoo!
Or since you're drinking tea, Dana, you might call it Steep Space Nine because of
Why did I call it that? Because that's
how you make tea with you. This is my pantomime for steeping, by the way.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I actually looked that up since you typically drink sludge.
How dare you?
About you
Sludge is what she
like
refers to my coffee as, by the way, for the folks watching.
just in case it's not clear, how I dare is like this. Since you typically drink sludge,
Just
and
like
I'm
that.
enunciating
Just like that.
just like that. So yeah, tea is steeped, but coffee is brewed.
True.
And I was very curious about the reason for that. And the reason for that is that when you have a reusable tea strainer, coffee grounds are smaller than tea leaves and often will be left in the beverage. However,
Yeah.
there have, innovations since then have, they're not quite interchangeable, but you can brew tea and you can steep coffee. But that's what people are used to because that's been around for so long. So
Interesting.
yeah, that
You
was
know,
pretty
when
interesting.
when I make iced tea, I'll make like just a big, a pot of it at a time, and I use my
Hmm.
coffee maker for that. I just take tea bags and put it in the
There
in
you
the
go.
coffee basket. So I don't know if you
Friggin'
would consider that. I
Philistine.
guess you would call that brewing because,
Yeah.
you know,
Because the water is going through it just once
right,
rather than it
right. It's
staying
not,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
water.
it's not
It's
soaking. Yeah.
it's not steeping.
So how are you? I, I, I,
Pretty
I
good,
think you
all
had a pretty
told.
good day from what I can tell.
Uh-huh. I really did. I got a video shot. Woo! So, and I do have one. It's not the one that's going up tomorrow, but I have one going up tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. Description's already written. I'm very that I didn't have to like ponder over it. I was just like, I know what I want to say about this. So that was pretty cool. And then I finished the script and shot the video for next week, which is going to be about subordinate conjunctions.
Yes, indeed.
So one would think a very boring subject, but I find it, interesting because, it contrasts with the fanboys, the coordinating conjunctions, and looking at, how they work in different ways. They're both still conjunctions. That's why I'm a grammar nerd. So it was fun to make, and I like talking about grammar, so I enjoyed that. So that was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Some complications with lunch. Gracious.
Again, this is like 3 weeks in a
Yeah,
row for
like
you on
no,
Wednesday.
just no,
Is
no.
it just 2 weeks?
It isn't in a row because last week, um, during the in-service day, I didn't go in because I had a doctor's appointment.
Oh,
So
that's
I
right.
went to the
That's right.
bakery.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I forgot about that. Yeah. But is it three?
Uh,
Is it 3 school weeks in a row then, or was it, or is it just two? Because I know
it's just two
there
because
was.
it was
That's because
Raphael.
your
Yeah,
calzone
there was
thing.
the calzone thing. I did not get to have my calzone because apparently they're just closed on Wednesdays, period. And it's not their fault that Google doesn't, you know, update to reflect this. So I called them yesterday and said, "Hey, you guys gonna be open tomorrow?" They're like, "No, we're not open on Wednesdays." It's like freaking
Random.
Google. So Winkler, I do. However, it's not just about conjunctions in general. It's about one specific type of conjunction. So I discussed that. I've already done a video about coordinating conjunctions. It's already up there, so you should like totally check it out. Anyway, so but other than that, I ended up getting sushi and it was quite good. I had a rainbow roll, which was very tasty, and
I'm sure.
mhm, it's nice because every bite is a little bit different. Some is like all tuna, and some's like all whitefish or whatever, and some of it's like half tuna, half salmon, and so it's like a little bit different. And then, but they all have like the crab meat and the avocado and the cucumber in the middle, so different textures. Oh, nice, nice, good stuff.
It sounds good.
Sushi makes me happy. It was quite good.
Yeah.
So anyhow, other than the lunch complications, it was good. I got to be helpful to some of my other teachers. I got two assignments, two, might have been three, one, two, no, two assignments graded. And then I had students ask me about, hey, why does this grade say this for this other assignment? And I went back and I'm like, Well, it shouldn't say that. Well, it does say that. And I fixed it. I'm like, okay, so the computer had the wrong grade in, and I've reflected what it should be. This is why it's important to keep a paper grade book, because, you know, if I'm just putting in like, you know, incomplete, 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 sometimes I type in too many incompletes. Sorry, guys. So anyway, so there was that. And then, oh my goodness gracious, we had a department meeting this morning. And like first thing, and our department head made Georgia cornbread, she calls it. So it's like cornbread base, but it's like a kind of like a coffee cake. So it's got, you know, cinnamon and butter and brown sugar and chocolate.
When you described it to me earlier, it sounds delicious. But yeah, it sounds just like a coffee cake
with
so a coffee cake made with cornmeal instead of, you know.
Yeah, you don't
like
think it's like, but it's like cornmeal, so it's got this like, you know, rich, crispy texture. You know, there's a hardiness to it, not like, you know, rough and hardy, but just like there's more to the texture.
Yeah, like cornbread. Yeah. It sounds delicious.
So good. And then some of the other English teachers on the hallway, because, you know, it's the end of September, which means Halloween, had organized a boo party, which is bring our own Oreos party. I was like, boo. So I had a chocolate hazelnut Oreo.
Sounds good.
The Georgia cornbread beat it out though. And and then in addition, my department head also had she had a pair of tacos that just, you know, didn't fit her quite right. And so she says, anyway, this size. I'm like, I am, depending on how it runs, I can try them and see. So apparently I had heard that tacos are very comfortable. And I can now attest to that. They are, in fact, quite comfortable. The only thing is, like, I almost never wear sandals. So, like, I've got nail polish on that I think is left from this summer, like a month and a half ago.
That's tough nail polish.
It's just like a little. Well, I mean, it's just like this little bit at the tip.
Just like a fleck, yeah.
Yeah, and just on the big toe. I don't think there's. I think the rest of it has like grown out and gotten clipped off. And I was like, yay! And I made some parent contacts, and I learned more about the online grading program, or not grading program, but the online catching up type program that we're doing. And I helped out my department with saying, here's what you can do. I'll be your go-to person on this, because, you know, I'm facilitating. And so I helped people out, and that was just nice. And but it was a lot of stuff. So like I came home and I'm like, okay, nap time. And I took like a half an hour nap and set my alarm so I could wake up and, you know, do all the button pushing. And well, I mean, that I do here on my end, and make sure the camera's plugged in, find where I put my earbuds, and okay, I have them plugged in. Okay, there's that, and there's that. Steep my tea, not brew my tea, steep my tea. And yeah, I think I'm good.
And now you're rested and sharp and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to go.
I really am. I'm definitely looking forward to the S9. Having that helps. Just and there was working out this morning. That sucked.
Yeah,
but it's gone. It's done. It's over.
It's done.
Woohoo!
It's done. I want to acknowledge a couple of things from the chat. First of all, Faraway Robot says, just found you and your video about Bashir. Just wanted to say I really enjoyed it. Thanks for making it. Well, thank you very much for being here, and thanks for watching the video and for joining us for this. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. I think that video turned out pretty well. Also, Mr. System 96 asks, what is the capital of the Federation in Star Trek? Now, I don't know if it's ever... What?
Somebody else gave the answer. I saw.
Did somebody else say it?
Yeah, somebody else gave the answer in chat. Weren't you paying attention?
What did they say? Let me see if
the
they got it.
The capital of the Federation is F.
F. Duh. Okay, that's the joke answer, though. That's there is. Okay, here's the thing. I don't know if it's ever been explicitly established on screen that such and such is the capital city, but it has been established that the Federation, the seat of the Federation government, is in Paris. That's where the president of the Federation lives. So by that reckoning, we can assume that the capital of the Federation is on Earth, and it's the city of Paris, France. That's as close as I know of that they have come to establishing where the capital is. Once again, see, Sarah has gone mad with power. She deleted Andrew's comment.
I don't think she's that mad. She's just mildly irked. See, Andrew, this is what you need to get used to on this channel.
Please don't
Women
fight.
who will put you in your place.
Just, yeah. I feel like we model that with every one of our streams we do together.
See, that would 255 AD. That would give me I put on fuzzy socks now. They are lavender, pink, and white striped, and they're just so soft and fluffy. But like, if my toenails grew out and like I could like they caught on the socks, that would give me serious tactile issues. Why?
Winged Worm says, strange considering it's also established that French is a dead language. Yeah, but there's still people that live in Paris, and I imagine it's still a very nice city in the 24th century or the 20, whenever they establish it as the capital, the 22nd or the 20. I'm not sure, the timeline is fragmented. Like, and honestly,
yeah, like nobody speaks Babylonian, but I mean, people still live in that particular area of that particular sector.
Yeah. And Chris Pagliarini says Memory Alpha lists San Francisco as the home of the legislature. And I know there's a Deep Space Nine episode that we haven't gotten to yet. That we won't get to for another couple. It's no spoilers.
Talk about it all you want, and then give me a thumbs
up.
No.
Good. No, it's fine. No, it's no. I'm not going to talk about plot stuff. I'm just going to say there's a Deep Space Nine episode in a few seasons where that's where we see that the Federation president lives in Paris. I think that's the first time that is actually explicitly established. But the thing is, almost all of the other Starfleet stuff that we ever see on Earth happens in San Francisco. So
do they wear flowers in their
hair? That's only if you're going to San Francisco. Once you get there, you can take the flower out,
Oh, Sarah, nice connection. As a teacher, wow. I approve. Making a text-to-text connection right there. Good girl. Nobody speaks Latin either, Andrew.
Philip Kehoe, the next one would be Michael Forever, I suppose. If the first one is Michael and the second one is Michael Returns, the third one is Michael Forever.
Except Michael wasn't in that one.
And okay, then maybe the third one is Val.
Yeah.
Maybe the third one is Val.
Although he wasn't in it forever either.
He was only in the one.
he got out while again. It was good.
and apparently the new Flash movie will be Michael Returns again.
He'll save every one of us. Wrong Flash, I know, but at the same time, I can't
Michael
not.
He'll
save every
one of us. Val Forever. Okay, so I was half right. So Philip, yeah, it's Val Forever. So, and then what? George and Robin, or George and Chris, George and Chris for the next one.
I like George and Robin. Actually, you could totally make that movie.
George and Robin.
Except it's actually like, this sort of highly dramatic with, elements of romance in it, but yet the romance goes unresolved because that's the way that life is. Things are never, brought into the open. It's all subtextual. And, at the end, so it takes place, of course, in Georgia. And at the end, the George and Robin is sitting in the tree singing alone.
Wow. That's such a long way to go for that pun, but I think it was worth it.
I'm actually imagining, this movie now. I'm like, I can write that. I can make that work.
And Mr. System 90.
Maybe it's set during the Jim Crow era, and it's about this interracial, not quite a romance, but they're not that the differences are too great, but that, that they decide the risks aren't worth it, and, kind of type thing. And that, that being together would hurt, would hurt the people, would hurt other people around them, and they care about these people. And the Georgian Robin sings alone.
Mr. System 96, there's never been a process described on screen, because that sounds really parliamentary and boring. And why would you waste time in a dramatic television show explaining how member nations leave the Federation? But
you wouldn't describe it, genius. You'd have it happen. And well, then but it's not that's where and boring.
That's what. Okay. That's what I was getting to, is that we can infer that there is such a process, however it works, because in the most recently completed season of Star Trek Discovery, when the crew of the Discovery arrives in the 32nd century, they find that lots of planets have in fact left the Federation. So, it is an option, and there must be, and someone in the chat, I think I've made this comparison before too, that it's probably something analogous to the process that's laid out for how countries can leave the European Union. That there's a procedure that you can follow if you want to leave the Federation. You're not compelled to stay if you don't want to stay.
They're like elves. You just have to fill out the correct forms.
Exactly. It's probably a little more complicated than that, but now everybody.
Well, there are a lot of forms. Those elves love their bureaucracy.
We're carrying the Philip Kehoe's Batman title gag to the extremes now. Joe McClory just pitched Ben versus Superman: Dawn of Justice, because apparently we're only replacing the Batman actor with the actor's real name. So yes. So it would be Ben versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. Somebody also mentioned a minute ago, they mentioned Batman Begins would be Christian Begins. And then I suppose after that would be, and after that it would be The Dark Christian, and then I guess The Dark Christian Rises.
Okay, now those are some really interesting dark fantasy, like
The Dark Christian.
I know, like The Dark Christian Rises. Like, come on, that is clearly alt history where like Jesus is evil.
Jesus survives the crucifixion and becomes a ruthless warlord. And brings Rome to its knees.
No, it's clear that the implication is that Jesus is a Lich King.
Because he rises. Yes, indeed.
Exactly, he rises from the dead and takes power. I mean, and the third one is about, they try to, what's the thingamy called?
What thingamy?
The thingamy that holds the Lich's power.
I have no idea.
All right, y'all in the chat, it's been a long day. I've just had a nap. What's the thingamy that a Lich holds? It's like the little thing that he puts his soul in, and it's not a Horcrux. Come on, y'all. You know this.
I barely even know what a Lich is, and that's only because we made so many Jesus is a zombie jokes when we were heavy into our atheist phase that finally some nerd said, actually, technically, Jesus isn't a zombie, he's a Lich, because XYZ, and then I tuned out because I don't give a shit.
Phylactery, yes, thank you. There you go.
God, no, it's fucking nerds.
Lupus, shut up. Lupus Regina had it right. It's a phylactery. People know these things, Steve. God, I know this. I'm just, like I said, I've slept since then.
Yeah, Caitlin, exactly. A Lich orb. That's I don't know.
That's really interesting. A reliquary, I think, is different, Sarah.
I just love how immediately 4 people came up with it. I'm sure off the top of their heads. I'm sure nobody had to look it up. It was just like, a phylactery.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. It's a phylactery. It's like it's like if I said, okay, so I know that the trash monster in Star Wars. Steve, do you know what that is?
What, the thing that's in the trash compactor in Star Wars?
Yeah.
I have no idea what it's called. Why would I?
I know what it is.
What's
okay,
it called?
Come on. I'm going to give Chad a chance. I've got this one.
Okay, yeah. Okay, the trash monster.
Come on, Chad. You're on your honor not to look it up. The trash monster in Star Wars.
Who's at least as big?
Who's getting it first?
Who's at least as big a nerd as Dana? who knows the name of the trash monster.
Hey, look, dude, you're running a freaking Star Trek channel.
M
All right.
Loudon 03 says the Disnoga. Chris Pagliarini says
No,
the
it's a
Diagnoga.
typo. It's a typo
The
because it's a
Diagana.
No, Dianoga. Come on,
Dianoga.
guys.
Well, they're
Dianoga.
both pretty close.
They're close. I think because I asked who's going to get it first. They're typing quickly.
I mean, if it was Jeopardy and I was the host, I wouldn't give it to them, because if I were the host of Jeopardy, I would take absolute delight in telling them that they got things wrong.
Of course.
That's
and
just
then
how
I would get it right, and I would get the points.
Of course you would.
And by points, I mean money.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck is Star Wars?
Sarah, you absolutely have. His name is Steve Shives.
How dare you? I've seen there. I don't believe there ever has been a trash monster in Star Trek.
Not in Star Trek, Now, if they put you in it, then there would be. That's just that there hasn't been one because you haven't been in it.
So because the Ensign's log isn't canon, there never has been.
Yeah, only in the Ensign's log. And boy, you are such a trash monster.
Steve in the Ensign's log is kind of a trash monster, yeah.
What do you mean, kind of, dude?
Wow, you're just boy.
You're the one who created him.
I did.
You made him a trash monster. By the way, Steve.
Yes.
You know what we haven't done, and we're already at 6:20. After 6:20.
We need to start watching the episode, but
not quite. But you haven't said anything about how your day has gone.
Oh, my day's been good. I've I posted my video for today, which is another Star Trek video about Dr. Bashir and the Dr. Bashir family. I know,
which seems to have been well received.
Seems to have been well received. People seem to like it, so I'm glad of that.
Sarah, that is some serious hypocrisy coming from you, sweetie. Don't be mean. Yeah.
And what else? Oh, I've been working on the script for next Wednesday's video, which will be the next.
You just chugging away.
I know the next. Where do we go from here? Which will be about ending the filibuster, and also I wrote Monday's video, which will be another Ask a Professional YouTuber, which I'm going to shoot tomorrow. I'm going to start shooting it tomorrow. I don't know if I'll have time to shoot all of it tomorrow, because it's a little bit more complex than the typical sitting at the kitchen table episodes. But the next two will be like that. Will be slightly more complex. I mean, it's like just maybe like 3 or 4 camera setups instead of one. Like not that complicated, but more complicated than usual. So yeah. And last night, as you know, because we were talking throughout the process, I took a whole bunch of pictures of those Star Trek action figures back there. And I have material now for the next 10 episodes of my Star Trek comics.
Jeez, wow.
So,
oh man, I got a real rat's nest here.
Yeah. Well, because shooting, I mean, it's you might not think so, but actually shooting the pictures for those comics is a massive pain in the ass, and it takes forever. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to make it worth my while. So I try to do multiple episodes worth per shoot. So yeah, I did 10 episodes worth last night. So they will be coming out in the coming weeks. Yeah. So episodes 101 through 110.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Freely available.
Yeah, freely, exactly. Free fan fiction, comics, action figures. Everybody's a jerk to everybody. It's
wait. Sarah, what's this mass exodus to Paramount?
Deep Space Nine is still going to be on Netflix for the foreseeable future. They have taken some of the other Star Trek shows off of Netflix. I think the idea is eventually they're going to try and consolidate everything onto Paramount Plus. But for now and for the foreseeable future, DS9 is still on Netflix. So
okie dokie.
If they take it off,
we will have the show.
Yeah, and if they take it off and Dana can't watch it on Netflix anymore, we will cross that bridge when we come to it.
Burn.
or burn it. Or Dana will be like, "Oh, thank God, I'm free." And we can just do something else.
Do something else. There are other things that can be done.
Indeed. But yeah. So anyway.
So it is 6:25.
It is. We've gone slightly
TikTok,
over.
Folks.
So we are going
Usually,
to
I mean,
be.
that's within the normal time
It's
frame.
within the range. Mr. System 96, I might sing Whiskey in the Jar after the episode. How about that? Although I
Yeah.
might have to look up the lyrics for that one. It's been a while since I've heard. But anyway, yes, I will consider singing Whiskey in the Jar after the episode is over.
Oh, sweet.
But yeah, so we will be watching Deep Space Nine. We will be watching episode 4 of season 2, which is titled Invasive Procedures. So if you do not have it queued up on your end already, go ahead and queue it up. And we will start
On Netflix for now.
on Netflix. Yeah, we're watching it on Netflix or wherever you have it, on Paramount Plus or Prime or on DVD or wherever you have it. Get it queued up. And we will be watching. I'll give you the countdown here in just a minute, and we'll start watching an episode with a couple more really cool and interesting guest stars who I will point out when we see them appear.
All right. So, are you going to do the counting thing? Wait.
Yeah. No.
Your idea. Oops, excuse me. 255 ID says your idea has been done.
My idea has which idea? Let me scroll back and see what. The last starship from Earth by John Boyd is an alt history story where Jesus Christ becomes a revolutionary leader and overthrows Rome. So it's been done. Well, there you go. You learn something new every day.
Yes, but was he a Lich King?
That's true. That the Lich thing seemed very crucial to the premise.
because I mean it's
Was it an undead Jesus who overthrew Rome?
Yeah, well, not only that, but I mean, it was the Dark Christian Rises, and so
right.
there's a sense of him being not a
there needs to be some sort of
leader of the people, but also possibly eater of the people. Anyway,
although the the ultimate meaning of the title in The Dark Knight Rises culminates in one of my favorite closing shots in the history of film. I love the final shot of The Dark Knight Rises. But anyway,
the final
the last thing you see before it cuts to the credits, like the final shot of The Dark Knight Rises, is perfection.
Okay. Well, you can send me a still of that so that I can appreciate it fully.
Okay, I'll send you a clip because you need to see it in motion.
What? I need to see it in motion? You said the final thing that you see.
Yeah, but it's a video, it's film. Things are happening in the shot. It's not just like a static image. Anyway.
All right, count us in.
All right, everybody, get ready.
Decent, folks.
Wow, my God, so much hostility. You have a good day, and then you just come
out
with all this
hostility.
I know.
Just, mean.
All right, everybody, get ready. I'll count us in from 3, and we'll watch this episode of Deep Space Nine. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Beauty shot with some talking. Man, they keep evacuating this thing.
I was just gonna say, they just evacuated it last week. So we can flee like cowards. Andrew, if you need to catch up, the time code is on the screen, buddy. What about the rest of the airlocks, Chief? Faint banging.
See, these are the things you have to worry about. These are the things you have to worry about in deep space.
Indeed. The subtitles just now said faint banging, and I thought, well, at least they're being quiet. And Snakebit Cat, this episode was after that episode of TNG, but it was in the same year. I just looked it up.
I still say you're a liar. You're a lying liar.
Mysterious blinky lights. Dun dun dun.
Uh-oh.
Those are
now
never good.
Yeah, but it's Star Trek. There's
That's
always their mysterious blinky lights.
That's why I don't consider the new shows to be canon, because there aren't nearly enough little tiny blinky lights on everything.
Good pizza, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. There's some more. Man, I had some tangles going on. If you watch my video next week, you'll be able to see why I've got tangles, because I had my hair pulled back in a bun and I just left it that way. But it was really low, so it kept brushing like against. So then when I took it down, like everywhere it had brushed had gotten like tangled. Oy, oy, oy. Dun, 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 dun.
Rebecca, I think every long-running series should be required to do an It's a Wonderful Life riff.
Oh, there we go.
Because that would be
255 AD, yeah. It is on its way. I am doing my best to wait patiently. That doesn't mean they're not science fiction. I mean, this is fiction. There is science in it. It's just not futuristic science fiction. Science fiction doesn't have to be futuristic. You're living on a spaceship, dear. So?
There's a joke in one of the upcoming Star Trek comics where Dr. Crusher is talking to one of the crew members from the original Enterprise, and Riker walks in and he's like, "Oh my God, a 5-year mission. How could you stand to be on the same ship for 5 years?" And Dr. Crusher says, "We've been on this ship for like 15 years. Riker's like, "Hey, fuck you."
Yes, we've started, DK Salo.
Yes, we have. Time code is up at the top of the screen if you need to catch up.
Scritchies.
Sorry, Sarah. That's not the big joke of that episode. It's not. Well, that's not like the big joke of that episode. DK Silo, we are in season 2, episode 4. Doesn't sound like my problem.
And Odo's still there yelling at Quark.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know that's what was happening, but I mean, come on.
But come on.
That's what was happening. I mean, I've heard of brimstone, but not with a capital B.
Oh, that's not cool. Oh, so we're all the same to you?
Here's my pizza.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a slur. Come on.
I don't need you both. Dun dun dun. Yeah, I kind of do actually. 255 AD. Not real big on the hair, but the cross straps, around the neck and shoulders is kind of cute.
Don't you like how they have a little lunchbox just for Odo?
Yep. Yeah, not real keen on the.
And yeah, that is Tim Russ is the Klingon there. And also, Mariel, the lady, is played by Megan Gallagher, who was on Millennium as Frank Black's wife. And she also played Allison, who was the wife of Thomas Vale in one of my favorite shows, Nowhere Man. And the troll guy is, of course, John Glover, who was Lionel Luthor in Smallville. I'll just put this in the fridge. You know how you get a changeling in a box? 1. Cut a hole in a box. 2.
Okay.
Put your changeling in that box. I collect these. They must have guessed the password. And by little talk, I mean I'm going to beat him to death with the butt of a rifle. Yeah, because all us trills know each other, Benjamin. Jesus. You stupid mind. Stupid. Stupid. Who are these people? And Jared, no, Voyager hasn't started yet. He wants my belly worm, my sweet, sweet belly worm. My belly worm brings all the boys to the yard, and I don't know. I got nothing.
And
I don't think he cares.
but maybe the audience doesn't.
Mm, I'm
No, I'm not
gonna.
gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. Just
Unworthy.
close.
He's not ashamed of. He's not ashamed. He's resentful. That's the word you're looking for, sweetie.
You know, they tell people pull yourself up by your own symbiont pouch, and then this happens. I Googled it. Wheat said this is well before that. Oh no, my not yet best friend. See, he still has to turn to the man.
Very true, Snake Bit Cat.
Yeah. You had to, if they're shooting anybody, you know they're shooting Miles. I mean, come on.
Joe, that's so good. Take my hand. Oh, oh, ooh, look at that squinchy face.
There should be no permanent damage.
There'll be time for that later.
Except for this part. I'll have better hair and everything.
So she is apparently some kind of alien. Do we know what
Yeah.
kind of alien she is, or just
No, I don't.
okay?
She's random bumpy shit on her head alien. A Star Trek special.
With lots of hair. Holy smokes,
Yes,
that's got to be a
indeed.
heavy wig.
She bumps it. You know, she bumps it. I like to watch my own surgeries live. It's kind of a kink. No, Julian, I want to be awake too. You meekly went along with the terrorists as they stole my belly worm. You did everything you could.
Oh, but for what? It gives us still the third act.
There goes O'Brien getting it again. Oh, yeah.
Look, dumbass.
Kira's like, I'm going to get me some of this.
Look, Corey, that's great. Did you look that up or are you just a nerd?
I didn't, yeah,
Fighting,
I never
fighting,
picked up on that.
fighting.
Oh, man, Cisco is just about to finish him, too. He's going to give him a Jerry Lawler fist drop.
Oh, bless. Okay. Um,
It's a winged worm. It's the dreaded double axe handle. There's no resisting the double axe handle. You get hit with one of those, you're done.
the dreaded double
The
axe handle,
dreaded
mind
double
you.
axe handle. Yes, come on.
It's
Look at
very
this right
important.
here. This is it. You watch out for this. Oh, this is so gross.
Oh, no. Oh, dear. What can the matter be?
You know, those things are delicious. You cook them like chicken liver. And I mean, oh, it's cold. Poor O'Brien. He's gotten shot. He's gotten kicked. He's just minding his own business, doing his job. I'm a victim of circumstance.
Also, I'm going to kill you.
You're through here as in the universe, in the world. You're
Yes.
done. Like
In among the living.
among the living, you're through.
Oh, Sarah, I'm so sorry.
Oh, Kefka 4, that's a rough place. Mhm. Huh? And I'm a totally different person now.
Dun dun dun.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, pause. I'm paused at 20:55 remaining. So I'll go ahead and get that time code up for everybody who needs to catch up.
Yeah, the recovery wasn't bad at all.
No, it's it's the future.
Dun dun dun. They have that little, the sparkly lights and the goop and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. You get a little bit of that goop, and you're all good. So a couple people
A little
earlier,
dab will do you.
little dab will do you. That heal and goop, and you're good. A little bit earlier in the chat, a couple people were drawing comparisons between Varad in this episode and his stated motivations for wanting the Dax symbiont, and Dr. Bashir's parents from my video from today. And I think that's a fair comparison, but I think with this specifically, you should read it as more of an indictment of Trill society, not just Federation society as a whole. And they kind of come back to this a little bit later in the series. This is the first hint that we get in Deep Space Nine that things with the Trill and who gets the symbiote and who doesn't, it's a little bit more complicated than we've been shown before. Because of Varad's story, we're introduced to the idea that there are more people who want to be joined than actually get to be joined, and that there's kind of a social hierarchy in Trill society where people who are joined with symbionts are a
Are
little bit
sort of
higher.
above.
Yeah, which is the sort of thing that technically you're not supposed to have if you
Yeah,
want to
but at the
be.
same time, it works better. I mean, it's better that way. Because if there were fewer people who wanted to be joined with symbionts than there were symbionts who needed a host,
Yeah,
then you're essentially choosing who gets to, be joined and which symbionts just, sorry, don't have anybody who wants to join with you.
you have to live in the pool. Sorry.
Oh, I thought they would just die.
No, I don't know if it's ever been established that the symbionts die if they're not joined. I think
Oh, okay.
they exist in a there's like they have like we've seen like underwater or underground pools where like
Oh,
with
well,
caves with little pools where they swim around.
you've seen on
Yeah, oh yeah,
other.
in subsequent episodes, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I just thought they'd die. I'm like, that would be really grim, but yeah, no.
By the
Okay.
way, Snakebit Cat suggests that what you should have said was a little Dax will do you.
But were we talking about Dax at the time? Yes,
Well,
yes, we
because
were,
of the
because that was
healing,
the
yeah.
surgery. Well, I was
And
trying to remember who was getting healed. We've had a couple
yeah,
injuries this episode already.
and
Mostly
EJ,
O'Brien.
boy, poor O'Brien. He needs a little dab of that healing gel or something. EJ Templin asks, "Who is the lady?" And I assume you mean the guest star lady, Mariel, who is Varad's main squeeze, who Cisco is trying to turn before he comes back in there. That she is played by Megan Gallagher, who I mentioned at the beginning of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Megan Gallagher was I can't remember her character name because I'm just a prick, but she was Frank Black's wife on Millennium, and she was Allison Vale, Thomas Vale's wife, on Nowhere Man, which is one of my favorite shows ever. And she was great in that because you never knew whose side she was on. Was she with them, or did she really love Tom and she was just doing what she had to do? You never know. You never know. But so yeah, she's terrific, and it's always nice to see her, pop up in things. And she was in a lot of stuff back at this point because this is the early 90s. This was, I think, a year before Nowhere Man and a little bit before Millennium as well. So, but she was one of those actors that would get cast as in guest roles and all kinds of stuff on TV. So,
So like fish without, eyes and other sorts of sensory organs.
oh yeah,
Uh
the symbionts, yeah.
yeah. Symbionts could die. Yeah, if somebody didn't, I mean, if their host died and they weren't put back in the pool, I mean, that would just be kind of rude, honestly.
Yeah, just
we can
I
put you in the
think,
pool, but we're just
yeah,
gonna leave you.
yeah.
That's pretty crappy.
I know that they've had multiple occasions mentioned or depicted where if a symbiont's host is dying, like they need to transplant the symbiont into a new host as quickly as possible. I don't know if
Mhm.
they've ever established, like, if they happen to be on the home world and there's one of those pools nearby, if they could just chuck it in the pool and it would be okay. I'm not sure if that's how, if that would be an acceptable solution. Because of course, because it's it has to be very dramatic. It's usually like, oh, the host died unexpectedly while on a starship and they had to scramble to find a new host. You know what I mean? It's always treated as that kind of thing.
Of
You know
course. Well, I mean, because otherwise you wouldn't worry about it.
exactly.
I mean, it happens. I'm sure they just don't do stories about it.
Joe, I remember the existence of that. I don't think I ever watched it. I remember some of the first generation UPN shows. I remember Marker with Richard Grieco, and also guest starring Gates McFadden. Actually, no, co-starring. She wasn't a guest star. She was she was a regular, but she was on it. Um, and what else? What was, Legend with Richard Dean Anderson and John Delancey. That was, I don't think that was maybe the second year or the third year of UPN, but that was pretty early on too. Um, yeah, and of course Nowhere Man. Uh, what else?
So, Chris Kringle, you
Yeah.
mentioned the symbiont has to reproduce eventually. Like, really?
Well, because otherwise,
I mean,
where would they come from? Like how? Like
well,
how
not
would you get more
every
symbionts?
symbiont has to reproduce.
Well, that's true. Yeah, not every
I
individual
mean, there
has to, but
honestly
yeah,
there might be, given that there are more trills who want symbionts than symbionts. That, I mean, there may be pressure in the symbiont community to reproduce and make more symbionts
yeah.
because there's so many trills who want symbionts.
But what if the
And there may
symbiote?
also be pressure in trill community to like not have kids.
But what if the symbionts cannot handle pressure?
Yeah, no.
No,
Yeah.
nothing. Nothing.
Oh no, it was something. I got it, but
You just don't care for it.
yeah, not so much. That was
Well, shit.
sorry.
That's okay.
You know,
It's
I would
okay.
totally give you credit for it if I approved, but I'm not gonna lie to you, Steve.
I know.
I could,
You.
I totally could, and you'd believe me.
I love what a shamelessly lopsided double standard there is between us. I can't lie for shit to convince you.
Yeah.
You could lie at will and convince me
Well, one of us is like an act. I mean,
of pretty
you,
much
like,
anything. You could be like, "Oh my god, the most amazing thing happened today at school. I actually flew. My feet lifted off the ground and I levitated."
That's
And I'd be
part
like,
of why
"That's
you would believe
amazing."
me. That's part of why it would work because I would come up with something that didn't sound like crap. I mean, that's like
Wow.
a Steve line.
Wow.
Hey, come on, you opened the door with that one.
I mean,
You
you're
were you were
quick. You
like
turn it right
asking.
around. You turn it
I
right around.
did. I
You turn it right
did.
around. It's like judo. You use my own momentum against me. Yeah. Um, um, Snake Bit Cat. That's cool. They used to call Steve paranoid. Pressure. And now Dana cannot avoid pressure. Um, 2 to 5 AD asks, do you think it is illegal for Federation personnel to use prostitutes when stationed on scarcity era planets? That's interesting. I feel like it would depend on the local laws. I think it's been
Mhm.
established in a couple of different episodes that Starfleet personnel are bound to obey the local laws of wherever they are. So if prostitution is illegal there, then I don't think they would be allowed to. But given as how enlightened and forward thinking the Federation is typically depicted as being, I find it hard to believe that sex work would be illegal in the Federation. Um, Although, as I mentioned in my video from today, I mean, there have been inconsistencies in the past. I mean, maybe that's another one of those blind spots where, for whatever reason, it is illegal in the Federation, even though you might think it wouldn't be. But I wouldn't think it would be. But if it's illegal on the place where they are, then I would say they
Yeah.
would, yeah, then they would be, you know, instructed to avoid it. Yeah, homebody, exactly. So Risa is basically a sex worker planet. So and Risa is a Federation planet, and people go there and the whole reason to go to Risa is to get laid. And there are people who work there whose job it is to lay you. So I mean, it seems like sex work is well accepted and
Established.
legal in the Federation. Yeah.
Corey says that once a symbiont has been joined, they can't just go back in the pool.
Oh,
So
interesting.
they have to. Mhm.
Okay. Well, then I
So
guess.
so you could have the story of if the situation was reversed, that symbionts would it would be worse for the symbionts if there were too many of them.
Yeah. 255 AD. How would sex work without money? I think it's just like it works now, but you don't pay them at the end. You don't. There's no more. Leave the money on the dresser. It's not
It's
necessary.
called seduction. it's
The
it's
Federation
yeah.
Department of Jamaharon. Exactly. Um, oh, thank you, Vitze Volbrecht. I'm glad you're enjoying it. We're enjoying it too.
Yep.
Um, okay, so shall we get back into the episode?
Yes, let's.
Yes, Azalea
Sarah,
Jane,
come on
exactly.
back.
Some sex
Let us
workers
know
genuinely.
exactly what you're thinking.
Yeah, there aren't
All
that
right.
many. Yeah, a lot of the. I mean, there's a Risa episode of Deep Space Nine coming up in a few seasons that I think is all right. It's pretty good, but I mean, it's not like great or anything. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. Okay, so yes, let's get back into it. Once again, we are currently paused at 22 or at 20 minutes 55 seconds remaining. It's right there on screen, and I'm going to take that time
Woohoo!
code. I'm going to take that time code down and get ready to put up the running one. So everybody get queued up to 2055 remaining, and I'll count us in from 3, and we'll finish watching the episode.
Awesome.
All right, here we go. In
Woohoo!
3, 2, 1, play.
Ooh, blinky lights.
That's how you know it's Star Trek, baby.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. Grumpy face.
This is part of the character rehab for Bashir. Let's have him mouth off to a Klingon and get away with it.
Live!
She's alive. She's alive. Oh, in the name of God. Oh, just let me sleep. You're not dead yet. Daxo.
I am bonding with you. Ha 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 ha.
Why are we telling each other things we both know? I was so high. Remember how high I was? Boy, he cuts right to the chase, don't he? Hello, Plutonium Shore. Welcome. I'll do all I can to make up for murdering my previous host. Bite me.
Caitlin, I think that's part of the implication is that the symbiont is also weak.
I don't know who you are
And so
anymore,
the
but you're
host
not
here
my
is
friend.
more in control.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Um, I'm at, whoa, minus 1432, 1. Mm-hmm.
You know, you seem under a lot of stress too, Mariel. Why don't you let your hair down?
Ah.
Hey, drop this. Yeah.
That was a nice hit, actually.
Oh, that poor stunt man.
That's nice. Nice
Oh,
caterwauling there.
he is so good. He is
I'm
so good.
impressed. Oh, Andrew, I'm so
That sucks,
sorry.
Andrew. But now that I got my belly worm, it's a whole new world, baby. Yep, sure. Together. That's the plan. Yep. Hmm. Definitely. God, could he have fucked that up anymore?
Her headpiece, her, that massive
It's a lot of
wig.
hair. It's a lot of hair. Cisco's like, told ya. Oh, not a dislocated malleus. Well, this isn't going to turn out well. Okay, this will be easy. I love how Julian goes through the trouble of faking the guy out, even though
Yeah.
he could have just walked up behind him and zapped him with it. So
Caitlin, yeah. I think he enjoyed getting jabbed in the ear.
it's Odo in a box. He's the lock-picking bartender.
Oh, Andrew, I'm so sorry. That's a lovely phrase, though. A vaguely oregano flavored piece of coal.
Yeah, that sucks.
See, I said oregano because, like,
because of British, yeah. Oregano.
Exactly.
Careful, Quark. You almost zapped me with that one. It's not a very secure lock, I have to say.
Quark's just that talented.
He is quite good, yes.
Ain't none of them got your best interest in heart, dumbass.
I'll go. Kira's like, maybe I'll get to kill you on the way, huh?
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm going to kill him. Just let it play.
Sarah, that's great.
If Kirk pronounce, of course, Kirk also says, what? How does he? He doesn't say sabotage. He says sabotage.
Oh, okay. Well, I was worried when you said he doesn't say sabotage. I'm like, oh Lord, don't tell me he says sabotage.
Sabotage. Sabotage. Yes, Caitlin, exactly. He also, yeah, he says telekinesis instead of telekinesis. They can move objects through telekinesis. That you know of. I'm telling you to.
Then you can have your Varad. Of course, he'll be pissed at you, but
Your easily manipulated doormat Varad. You can have him back.
such. That's got to be like supposed to be her head.
It's a lot of hair.
And like it doesn't make any sense. Like it's also not symmetrical.
Yeah, it's a very unusual. They have
It's
they have an
almost-
elongated skull. They have a yeah. Somebody remember the password? Yeah. I'm telling you,
Nice jump.
there's no resisting it. I mean, there's no ship at that airlock either.
What?
Okay, no, yeah,
Why?
there's a runabout there.
Okay. 2 words. Worth it.
It's Avery Brooks, Vice. Avery Brooks.
Wow, it knocked him back.
So I think we've established by now that Cisco is not the guy who you want to bet on not taking a risk. He's like, oh no, I'm going to shoot you. Hopefully it'll work out, but I'm definitely going to shoot you. It was in my belly. Yeah, Joe, exactly. Don't assume he's bluffing. I can't
He's got
remember
really
how
nice
awesome I
teeth.
was. Well, he is an actor. He's such a loser. See, Sarah, you have gone mad with power.
Dun dun dun.
And that's it.
Press the wrong button. Sure, Sarah. Sure.
Likely story.
And they got you working at CERN. I'm a little worried
Oh, that's
now.
yeah, I know. That's I'm not sure about that either. So yeah, what'd you think of that episode?
It was interesting. I liked the exploration of I wish I would have liked to see more of the aftermath and just, I guess he'll always be with me. What do you want to bet this is the last we hear of that?
I'm pretty sure it's the last we hear of that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think Varad is ever mentioned again.
I guess he'll always be with me. I'll just, get over it.
Trust me. I mean,
pretty much right away.
I may not talk about it much, but he'll be there.
He'll be there. He's just, he's really easy to ignore. He always has been.
Yeah, I know. Maria was like, "Tell me about it."
Oh, so
yeah, I think that's a pretty strong episode, and like I say, the guest cast is really cool. John Glover is fantastic. I mean, a couple people in the chat, I think 255 AD might have mentioned it, that he's such a when he's unjoined, like he's such a sniveling little shit. you know.
Yeah.
And then when he is
Joins with
joined with this,
Dax.
he like his, you know, he throws his shoulders back. He has more
Hmm.
bass in his voice. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's a really good performance. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of expecting that. I was ready for that. It wasn't anything. He didn't do anything that surprised me.
no, well, because when I mean, he's almost overplaying how meek the guy is at the beginning. You know, he's like sort of stuttering and kind of like sort of, you know.
Yeah, but I don't know. And it's a pretty simplistic, flip.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's not like revolutionary acting or anything, but it's good. It's well
Yeah.
executed.
Mhm. Well, I mean, like I said, there is some evidence that because Benjamin's trying to reach out to Dax and he's unsuccessful, but it would have been interesting to see Varad, the snivelly guy, trying to sort of resist the symbiont, or possibly even Dax being uncertain about returning to Jadzia, knowing that that might mean death for everybody, depending on
Right.
how it goes. I don't know, 255 AD, do they have jail? I mean, other than like temporary storage?
In Star Trek, oh, they have jail.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know these
they
things.
have jail. They have jail. Yeah, and I believe Varad is going there. I wouldn't. I mean, we don't see him ever again. We don't hear about what happens to him, but
Yeah, but he's
yeah.
a sniffling loser. I mean, that's a perfectly good reason for us to never hear about him again.
Yeah, exactly.
He just never does anything important or
Yeah, exactly.
relevant.
Exactly. Yeah, Cam McLean. They have hella penal colonies. They do. They have a penal colony in New Zealand, which is where Tom Paris is. When we meet him at the beginning of Star Trek Voyager, it seems like a really nice place. Like you get to go to prison in New Zealand. It's like, oh, sign me up. Who do I have to kill to get put in prison? Yeah.
See,
And
yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I see. These are the things. These are so many Star Trek things. I just don't know, and I appreciate you telling me about them, even though I'll probably forget. I forget things. That's what I do.
There's also the Klingon penal asteroid Rurapente, known throughout the galaxy as the aliens' graveyard.
Really?
Are you giggling at penal?
At the penal asteroid.
Penal asteroid.
I'm sorry.
What else are they supposed to call it? It's an asteroid that's the home to a penal colony. It's a penal asteroid. What else are they going to call it?
You better stop, dude. Let's talk about something else.
So, well, Sarah, it's not just that my Russian accent is bad. My impression of Chekhov is bad, and Chekhov's Russian accent is bad. So it's like a stacked bad Russian accent.
But couldn't you do a bad impression of Chekhov by doing a good Russian accent? Hypothetically, not that you could necessarily.
Hypothetically,
you might be completely incapable of it.
Wow.
You might be. I don't know. Prove me wrong, Steve.
I can do a good Yakov Smirnov. And since he is actually Russian, technically, wouldn't that be a good Russian accent?
Hey, the only Smirnoff I know is in the bottle.
Well, that's better than the Yakov Smirnov, I'll tell you that. In Soviet Union, vodka bottles you.
That wasn't even that funny, but I liked it.
Well, just
there you go.
As is the case of most of Yakov Smirnov's.
But you made a joke. You made a joke, and I gave you. I laughed and I gave you credit. I said I liked that. See,
yeah, I appreciate it, and it meant so much. Yeah, now people are phonetically spelling out the Chekhov accent. Yes, he doesn't say vodka, he says vodka, and he says nuclear vessels. He
Cute.
says West because he can't do V for some reason. He can't pronounce V, so it's all W.
It, so he's what, German?
He's supposed to be Russian, but he doesn't say V. He says W. So
My
so
French
a
teacher.
vessel is a wessel.
And a shovel is a shovel.
A shovel. A
A
shovel.
shovel.
Mr.
It's
Mr.
almost a little
Spock,
bit.
hand me that shovel, please. I'm
It's
sorry,
not
what?
shovel. It's shovel. It's almost like a B there. It's like the BV in Spanish.
Oh, like
But yeah,
Spanish, yeah. Yeah.
that was my French teacher.
Interesting.
She was German. I never really understood
I
that.
mean, they're European languages, you know.
And we were in America, and we had a German teacher.
This doesn't
who
make any
wasn't
sense.
German. Yeah, it's all mixed up there.
If you go back far enough, there's a common root tongue. I mean, you got to go back a little ways, but you'll find one.
You know, a few centuries or so.
Yeah, you know, there's the common, the Proto-Indo-European language. Yeah, I was just thinking of that Vilcata in the Star Trek reboot. There's a really funny
Did
scene
they
where,
kill him? I thought the whole point. I thought the whole point was that they weren't going to kill him. That it was soon enough that they could just like undo it. I mean, because he says to
killing Varad Dax by removing the
Oh.
symbiont and separating them. Then he's just plain old Varad again.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. And yeah, a couple people pointed out in the Star Trek in the first Star Trek reboot movie that they make a joke out of Chekhov being unable to pronounce V because part of his access code for the computer is Victor Victor, and he keeps saying Victor Victor, and the computer doesn't recognize it. And he's like struggling, Victor Victor.
If you ever watched Airplane, what's your vector, Victor?
What's your vector, Victor? Have I ever watched Airplane? It's only one of my favorite movies.
I did. It's one of your favorites.
It's one of my favorite movies. It's probably top 5 comedy movies I've ever seen. I love Airplane so much. Because
But Clue is better than Airplane, right?
I don't think so. Look, I know you love Clue, but there she goes. She's gone.
I just can't, Steve. How?
Airplane?
How?
Come on, Airplane.
So wrong. So wrong. God, what? Oh. Y'all. Okay, y'all in the chat.
Corey agrees with you.
Yeah, thank you, Corey.
Richard,
it's a movie that's not as good as Clue, Richard, but that's not important right now.
It's a big metal tube that flies, but we don't have time for that.
I'm not saying, Sarah, I'm not saying it's not funny, but it's not as good as Clue, that's for sure. Jeez.
Wow.
Oh. Sarah, Clue is a movie that's much better than Airplane.
Clue is a very funny movie that is not anywhere close to as good as Airplane.
Okay, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Wow.
Don't forget about the charity links. And I have a video coming out tomorrow, so I would be delighted if you leave a comment on it. And good night.
Oh my God, she left. Oh my God, she left. Oh, that is amazing. Okay, let me. I wonder if she'll come back. Let me take the overlay off just for a second here. I have no idea if she's going to come back or not. That is amazing. Oh my God. Okay. So, yeah, she peaced out. Good for you, Dana. Good for you. I was about to wrap it up anyway, but yeah, I you know what? Fair play to her. I disrespected Clue, and she did what she had to do. So, in all seriousness, Airplane is 100 times better than Clue. I'm sorry. Clue is a fine movie. Clue is a good, like, I don't have anything against Clue, but come on, Airplane. Seriously, Airplane. One of the funniest movies ever made. Not taking nothing away from Clue. But come on. Come on. Like, come on. Anyway, since Dana's gone, I don't want to keep this going by myself too much longer. But so I will just remind everybody, as Dana did before she before she jumped off. That Dana has her own YouTube channel. YouTube.com/Dana Coldares, and you can watch her videos and leave her comments because she loves comments. And also, don't forget the charity links that are linked below in the video description. And that's a Google Doc of links to PayPal links and crowdfunding campaigns and stuff like that for friends of ours who need a little bit of a helping hand financially. So if you are able to help out with that, please consider doing that. Don't forget patreon.com/Steve Shives to become a patron of this channel to help me out, or you can become a channel member just by clicking the join button. Dana and I, assuming Dana forgives me for not liking Clue as much as she does, Dana and I will be back next week to watch the next episode of Hilda, which will be Chapter 5, The Troll Rock. And then, Sarah, to answer your question from earlier, 2 weeks from tonight, we will be back to watch the next Deep Space Nine episode. And we will be skipping some episodes for the first time. We will not be watching the next Deep Space Nine episode in the season that aired. We will be skipping a few episodes. So I think the next episode I want us to watch is episode 7 of season 2, which is Rules of Acquisition. So we will be watching that next. So we will be skipping, even though they're both really good episodes, especially the next one. Cardassians is a terrific episode, and also Melora there's some problems with Melora that I actually talk about in my first video about the treatment of disability in Star Trek. But we're going to skip that one and skip Cardassians and jump straight to Rules of Acquisition, which is a good episode and also an important episode for plot stuff going forward. So yeah, I do believe that's it. So see you next week and see you on Friday for the next Ask Away, which if you are a channel member or a patron and you haven't submitted your question yet, you can go ahead. If you have a question, you can submit your question ahead of time for Ask Away. That'll be Friday. And yeah, that's it. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. Hope you enjoyed Dana's awesome mic drop of an exit. I still can't believe she did that. That was awesome. Anyway, so yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Have a good night. And I will see you on Friday for the next live stream. And Dana and I will see you back together a week from today for Hilda Chapter 5. So have a good one, everybody. Take care.